I've had a few studio spaces, none of them like this though.
Concrete, power tools, notebooks on the floor, and no shortage of paint or color. Studio 34 is not the place for you if you're looking for a neat and tidy work environment.
It's a space that they can come to and feel free to make a mess and not have to worry about the floors, the walls, getting paint everywhere, shooting sparks all over the place.
But when Bryan graduated from art school 15 years ago, he found himself without a workspace.
I found at art school there was like everything and anything right at your fingertips. And when I got out of art school, it's like all those great things were gone. So I wanted to make that accessible to other people.
Studio 34 is open to the public, where artists can take classes and book time to experiment.
I want to give people a chance to at least explore some of these tools, to be able to see if they even enjoy playing with them first, before they go out and decide to make that investment.
Although Bryan studied very traditional art practices at the Nova Scotia University of Design, he's always been drawn to street art.
As soon as I saw graffiti, I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to do that. I prefer sort of decrepit, decaying, nasty alleyways. It's like breathing new life back into them. I look at it as an urban renewal project.
But Bryan's not the guy you're gonna see tagging his name all over town with a bottle of spray paint.
I don't agree with tagging. I mean, it had its time and place in the 80s. I find people get, I think, a little threatened and discouraged with the indecipherable text letter forms, and then all of a sudden they feel like, well, I can't read it, I don't understand it, it's not for me.
Connecting with his audience through his artwork is key for Bryan.
Let's maybe use a visual vocabulary that everybody can understand. And that's what I find I'm trying to do with object forms, portraits, figures, making it more relatable. But holding on to that continuous line that you find in the tagged word. It's written really quickly, really fast. You're trying to get it done and get out of there. And there's something about that that has this energy that is, it's like mystical or something.
Behind all of the rich colors and abstract designs, there's always meaning.
I think what I'm trying to do is create people that aren't as mindless as we are. You know, they're interconnected. They've got these aortic valves on their heads. You know, that's how they connect to one another. They don't even need to speak with words. Their heart's in their head.
Yes, there's often much, much more to these unique pieces than consciously meets the eye.
You stare at the image as a whole for about 30 seconds or so, and then when you look away to a blank white space, it will temporarily burn these images into your retina.
Not only does he bring his talent to outdoor spaces, Bryan brings the outdoor spaces into his studio.
Something else I do is like I take my materials from the spaces that I paint in, like steel from the train yard, the railroad spikes, the railroad plates. So I bring those into the studio and use them in sculpture. I picked all these up from the train yard. It's where I do a lot of my painting.
For every medium at Studio 34, there's a class to go along with it. Bryan teaches classes in metal, foundry, casting and aluminum, wood, stone carving, and canvas building.
Getting that guidance at your inaugural stages of making things it's super important.
Bryan's looking forward to expanding Studio 34 in size and getting more artists working together in his space.
That's when things really happen, is when, you know, a group of artists are working together in the same space. And just like, you know, there's this unspoken exchange of energy, I think, that just happens on its own accord.
For Go on Shaw TV, from Studio 34 in Nanaimo, I'm Fiona Shedden.